The script words missing font is actually a font that is not loaded on my computer. If the font is not loaded on your computer, you'll get a warning sign or warning notice when you first open the file, which we did, and you'll also have a little exclamation yellow triangle on the layer of that missing font. Now, on that layer, you can move things around and it won't actually change anything, it'll be fine. But if you try and resize or retype, it will ask you to go back to a different font. So I'm going to grab my type tool and click on it, and it says a font substitution will occur. Should I continue? And if you say OK, it will actually change that word. So if I had loaded the font, it would resolve and not need to be changed, but if I don't have the font anymore, I either need to leave it alone completely, at which point I could still print out with it, but if it needs to be resized or anything, then honestly we just have to either hunt up the original or change the font the way we just did. So now it's no longer a missing font, it's been resolved, and it's now back to just a regular type layer. There is one other option that you can do to a missing font. So let's undo until we go back to where we can see that script again. Go to File, the Edit menu, and do Undo Edit Type Layer, which should put us back there. This is a editable type layer, and that means that I could resize this if it were type. But if I don't want to have any more hassle about that it is a missing font, what I can do is right-click on the layer either here or with my type tool over here in the document and choose Rasterize Type. Now if you choose that option, you'll notice that the layer thumbnail is changed. When the layer thumbnail looks like this with the little checker pattern in it, that is a pixel layer and it doesn't have type in it anymore. It's just a graphic that's on your page. Rasterizing the type turns it into pixels, and it will no longer be editable text, which you can see is what we just did. Now where that really you need to think before you do that is if you ever have to resize your document. So let's do this. Grab your zoom tool and just click once on your canvas, or at least until you get up to about 200%, which I can see down here in my bottom left corner. This doesn't look very good. So the video you're watching, it's not just gone to low res. This is actually what this looks like, and low res is the issue entirely. There's not enough pixels in this document to make all of the smooth lines in the text that it needs. And let's change that. So to size up our document, we go to Image and Image Size. Check that your constrain proportions is on, and we're going to change the width to 8.5 inches and then change the resolution to 300. When you click OK, you should notice a huge difference. Now this is zoomed way in. I'm going to bounce back to see the whole page at once by double clicking on the zoom tool. Oh, check that out. That used to make you see the whole page at once. Alright, grab your zoom tool and you can click up here in the control bar and say fit to screen and it will zoom back. You can also say fill screen and that'll put it about where we need to go. So fill screen is a great option. Now here's where we can see the difference between sizing up editable type and a pixel layer. This layer right here that's all blurry was a pixel layer, and now it is pixelated because Photoshop didn't have enough pixels to make it large. The editable type just got reworked and it looks great. There's not any problem with it. And anyway, so that's what rasterizing text will do, and also how you can size up a document if your type is looking too jaggedy. Now, what makes a type look jaggedy? I say that and it's useful to demo this just a little bit closer, so I'm going to grab my zoom tool and click in on the two S's and hold down my space bar to move these over to the center of my window. Let's zoom in even further. One of the things that will affect your editable text is what the anti-aliasing option is. Anti-aliasing is the smoothness of the edge, essentially, and there are some different options. So let's grab this type. So we're going to grab our type tool and click on that big S. The anti-aliasing option is in character, and that's down here in the bottom right corner of the panel. It looks like a double A. Right now the anti-aliasing is set to none, so we've got this really jagged edge, which honestly does not look good. So we need to change that to something else. If you click on none and drag it down to sharp, you'll notice that there's a bit of a change. Crisp and so on. I think I usually set my default to be at strong, because smooth gets it to be sometimes just a little too blurry. And that's the difference between having your anti-aliasing set to none and to an option such as sharp, strong, or smooth. To jump back out to see your entire screen all at once, there is a cool hotkey you can use instead of the zoom tool. If you hold Command and push the number 0, it will fill your screen completely up.